the value of wrestling, the revolutionary force in wrestling podcasting.
Oh yes, we're back. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for another episode of the Big Time Rant. We're going to break down some news, rumors, some other stuff going on in the world of professional wrestling. I welcome you to the Value of Wrestling YouTube channel. I welcome you to Big Time Rant. I'm the Big Time. You know who I am. You know what I do. And we are here. I think we got everything up and going. We will see how it is. Anyways, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications so when new videos come up, you will know. So there we are, ladies and gentlemen.
You didn't know? Your ass better call somebody!
That's right, that's right. Let's talk about Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle's status before WWE Raw this week is still unknown. Coming out of Ringside News, the original bro accused an airport security of sexual assaulting him, but then more information started to come out of the situation. It appeared that he was heavily intoxicated at the time. Riddle then brushed off the suggestion to lodge a formal complaint, and he was allegedly disruptive in the airport, causing the officers to be complaining. He was disruptive possibly on the airplane, from what I understand. So where is Matt Riddle? We don't know. Doesn't seem like he may be on TV this week, so don't be surprised if you don't see Matt Riddle on Monday Night Raw tonight. Fourth generation superstar, ladies and gentlemen, a fourth generation superstar set to hit the Performance Center next week for tryouts. None other than Brogan Finley, yes, brother of Dave, or the son of Dave Fit Finley, and brother to David Finley, who's a prominent figure in New Japan Pro Wrestling, including leading the Bullet Club. And speaking of New Japan Pro Wrestling, if you haven't gone over to Spotify and find our boy Miguel Z over there doing the Spotify podcast with the New Japan Weekly Rebound, and go over there on Spotify and join him to find out everything going on with New Japan Pro Wrestling. And other news. Pat McAfee says WWE SmackDown Return came together really quickly. Pat McAfee was in the University of Colorado area while the WWE was down the street in Denver. So he was up in Boulder and WWE was in Denver. They said, hey, you want to go do SmackDown, open the show with The Rock, and be in the ring with The Rock, and whenever he does, he said, yeah, I guess. He got there at 5:34 local time, and the bell sounded at 6 p.m. local time. And we got a great show with Pat McAfee joining in the ring with The Rock, Austin Theory. Great segment on SmackDown. Helped boost the ratings for SmackDown this week. Really made it a moment to never forget. Jade Cargill. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Jade Cargill has been removed from the AEW roster. It is reported there was no heat between her and AEW. She's not leaving on bad terms. She is just headed on her way to the Performance Center at WWE. So Jade Cargill making her move. We should see her on WWE TV soon, but not all that soon. So we will stay updated on where is Jade Cargill. What's she going to do? She's reported to be at the Performance Center sometime this week. CM Punk news. Exactly. CM Punk news, not a whole lot to report about, but it does not look like there's any legal issues going on between Tony Khan, AEW, CM Punk. Doesn't look like there's anything that's going to be going on there. But CM Punk says he's got 2 months free with nothing to do. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens with CM Punk and what his future holds. Triple H. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, news and information about coming out from Triple H. Supposedly, Triple H does not want to pay LA Knight big money to do other people's acts. coming out of the ringside news, LA Knight took a shot at Kevin Nash on SmackDown, and a lot of fans noticed Knight's little grammar lesson. He made a reference to how Nash said that play is an adjective, which it is not because it's a verb. Of course, Nash had a lot to say about LA Knight ripping off Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock in the past, and that's all been well documented. Anyways, Kevin Nash chimed in to answer back to LA Knight during his Click This podcast. It seems that the two might have something that they could settle in the ring. When Nash saw that LA Knight and WWE were in contract talks and they were far apart of money, Big Kev gave his old Click buddy a call. I had read different things where he took a shot at me, and I said, how's that really taking a shot at me? So what you're basically saying is this is a guy that basically is a bottom feeder. I mean, the guy, it took him 29 years to get over, so he's going to make mistakes along the way because he wasn't like he had any kind of clear-cut pattern or plans to make it. Besides, he figured The Rock and Steve have been gone long enough that he would just do their stuff. And I hear and I see where he's up for a new contract, so I called Triple H. This is all Kevin Nash speaking, and I quoted. And so we asked Triple H, what's the deal? You know, because earlier, Kevin Nash still speaking how your negotiations were great, now you're far apart. What do you mean? Triple H goes, the guy is my age, I said, saying Nash. I don't know, he's quite your age. He's pretty damn close. So Nash and Triple H had this back and forth. We're so far, Triple H says we're so far apart because the only way I'll sign this guy is to a nostalgia act. You mean like me, like being on the Legends contract, says Nash. So it looks like the contract talks between Triple H and LA Knight are far apart, a lot leaning on the fact that LA Knight is trying to get big money and Triple H is looking at him as a nostalgia act and doesn't see what he's doing. I mean, is LA Knight just a picking and choosing things to do other people's act, or is he trying to create his own act? It's all news, rumors, and speculation that maybe the reason they're far apart is because Triple H doesn't want to pay for somebody who's not different, new, or seems to be changing old stuff. But the fans, he's getting over, so I don't know if you can argue that. If the fans want him and he's making money for the company, isn't that what you want? Isn't he worth the money if that is what he's bringing in to the company? So we'll have to stay fit on the LA Knight news with WWE and the re-signing of his contract. We'll have to wait and see what happens there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, AEW is being rocked. A lot of people saying AEW is not in trouble, but news and reports coming out from Ringside News, AEW Grand Slam ticket sales not looking good, not looking great for Arthur Ashe Stadium show. AEW is gearing up for another event at the Arthur Ashe Stadium, but the turnout might not be what they've seen in previous years. Rampage will be a 2-hour show, and that will follow a 2-hour Dynamite. That doesn't mean fans are flocking to the box office. So you're going to get 4 hours this week, with Dynamite being 2 hours, like it always is for a Grand Slam event, and then Rampage going to be 2 hours for a Grand Slam Rampage. We previously reported that AEW is trying hard to avoid a bad turnout at Arthur Ashe Stadium. They are running a BOGO deal on tickets currently being sold. That has helped some, but it hasn't been significant. At this point, they still have a lot of tickets to sell. They have over 4,000 tickets that still need to be sold for the event. AEW is definitely looking at hard times, and if they're doing a BOGO event already for Arthur Ashe Stadium, which isn't a very big stadium, AEW is definitely hurting. AEW has came out and possibly giving us misinformation on the ticket sales or the attendance of All In, claiming it's the largest event ever, but the numbers that have come out since then have not looked to be matching the numbers that AEW is trying to proclaim to make this the largest paid attendance event in wrestling history. So you can't sell a big event if you're not living up to the hype. So what's the truth? We don't know. We're still digging into information on that. But the Grand Slam doesn't look to be sending the tickets, and their last few shows have been more on the empty side than the full side, and even viewership seems to be going down on the shows, especially on Collision. Collision's not pulling in the numbers that they once were. So is AEW hurting? A lot of people are saying AEW is going to be fine because they got the deal with Cinemax, which we don't have a actual fact that they'll be streaming on Max, which is a WB product, Warner Brothers. And with them going possibly on a streaming service like Max, it also looks like WB wants to push them to 12 pay-per-views a year. This could be more hurtful than helpful to AEW. In all honesty, I don't know if AEW needs to go to 12 pay-per-views. I don't even know if WWE needs to be 12 pay-per-views a year. That is a lot to carry, and that's a lot of events to pay. That's a lot of pay-per-view events to buy. Are people willing to spend that money in this day and age? Are people going to pay $60 a pop, $50 a pop for a pay-per-view event? Now, if it goes to a streaming service, how much are you going to pay each month for streaming? Does Max offer anything else other than AEW content on the stream that people would be willing to pay? Now, you may already be a Max subscriber and like what you get on there, and that's great, but are you willing to pay more if you're an AEW fan for the AEW content? Are they going to do premium live events? Are we going away from the whole pay-per-view end of the business? What does this mean? And with the WWE doing a surprise with The Rock, and lots and lots of scattered talk about The Rock doing a match with Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40. If The Rock is going to be back on TV anyway, we already got Cena back on TV. AEW is really going to have to pull themselves together. Are they hurting? Yeah, they're hurting a little bit right now. They're in a low. They were leading a lot of it. They were strong in the domestic, but now their domestic numbers are way down, and WWE is taking a run at it. And if Tony Khan and AEW don't figure out what it's going to take to turn around, they could be in deep trouble. And of course, I had to sneeze because I went into a recording here. But what's going to happen is AEW going to have to find something new. Can they move the needle? Can they sign somebody that's going to move the needle? We know Edge, Adam Copeland, is out there. We don't know his status. He's been on and off the internal roster of WWE. We don't know where they are with money. Now that the merger between UFC and WWE, creating the new company TKO under the parent company of Endeavor, has come together. Is there more money to put out there? Are they willing to pay more money to get somebody like an Edge back on WWE TV and not let him go to AEW? Will Edge even consider going to AEW? Yes, it's Buddy Christian's over there, but does Edge have anything really to give that's going to help bolster or make AEW significantly better? Will he move a needle showing up there? That's hard to say. Who else is out there? Could AEW bring in a Goldberg? It might bring a cheap pop, a short-term pop. Could bring something. What if Drew McIntyre leaves WWE? He goes to AEW. Would that be a huge needle mover? It depends on how they book him. What is he going to do there? Could Drew Galloway be on AEW TV here in the near future? And will that be a game changer in the plans? It's really hard to say. Will WWE and Drew McIntyre find a new agreement and make it through whatever the process is? It could be very interesting. It definitely looks like Drew McIntyre wants to stay in WWE. He's just looking for something to do other than just kind of floating around in the card. It definitely looks like they're trying to get him in a position for something. We're just going to have to wait and see. But with that said, AEW's trying to do BOGO for Grand Slam, and that's bad. If they're not hitting a Grand Slam, if they're not knocking it out of the park like they're trying to tell you they are, well, then they're in deep trouble. It's not a slam dunk for a Grand Slam. And they're in bad shape. They're going there. They've got a lot of great matches on the card. And, of course, they're building for Wrestle Dream in Washington. And what is Wrestle Dream's numbers going to look like? It's definitely going to be interesting. AEW is really going to have to dig deep. Tony Khan's going to have to come up with something special and turn the ship around because it's a hurting ship right now. AEW is hurting. Doesn't matter if they've got Max. If they sign up for Max and they're streaming on Max, it could bring good stuff. It may not bring good stuff. If they do 12 pay-per-views a year, I don't know if that's a winning combination. 12 pay-per-views is a lot to try and fill, and they don't necessarily put enough storylines together. So we're going to have to wait and see how this all plays out. Can AEW right in this ship? Only a matter of time. Maybe Tony Khan will wake up and finally realize it's time to get serious and get into the trenches because there's going to be a war brewing. May not be a Monday Night War, but there's going to be a war. So let's see what happens. WWE is trying to make moves, and AEW and Tony Khan are going to have to do the same things. Anyways, I'm the Big Time, and until the next episode, I thank you for joining us here on the Value Wrestling YouTube page. Go ahead and make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment, do all that great stuff. We love your guys' comments. We're reading them all. And we're not here to, say if your comments are, bad or anything, because that's something we're here. We want to hear everybody's comments. Everybody has a right to their opinion, and we would love to discuss those more. So make sure you drop a comment below. I will keep you up with news information coming forward. But for now, I'm out. I thank you for joining us on another Big Time Rants, and I am out.
This is the value of wrestling, the revolutionary force in wrestling podcasting.